You're listening to the Trailblazers Podcast, episode 122, where I'm going to challenge you to think big, aim high, and act bold.
You're listening to the Trailblazers Podcast, where we will explore the stories of successful Black professionals. Join us as we highlight the knowledge, resources, and tools of these accomplished trailblazers to help provide the know-how, confidence, and motivation you need to blaze your trail. And now, here's your host, Stephen Hart.
Blazer Nation, what's good? Listen up. I'm officially taking us into a summer break at this point, and just wanted to let you guys know I'll still have episodes every Monday, and just might happen to give the mic over to a few familiar voices that you've heard on the podcast before. Also do a couple best of episodes and a couple mini-sodes like I'm doing today. So you're still going to have some goodness each and every week, just not new interviews as you're accustomed to hearing each Monday. And so I'm just giving myself a much needed break for the summer. Spend some time with my family and my wife, and just allow myself time to prepare for a couple speaking opportunities that I have coming up, and also some new things that I'm working on, some new projects. So we'll resume the interviews this August, and I've got some really awesome people, amazing lineup when we return, and I'll share more of that as we get closer to that point. So I want to first give a shout out today to our sponsoring partner, the Campaign for Black Male Achievement. Sean Dove is the CEO of CBMA and a dear friend and someone I have a real admiration and respect for. And Sean, I just want to say, I want to take a moment and wish you and the team at CBMA a very happy birthday, happy anniversary. I know that this June, CBMA officially celebrates 10 years. And that is so amazing, the work that you're doing, uplifting, enhancing, elevating the leaders all around the country in all these different cities who are truly doing the real work, right, on the ground each and every single day for our Black men and boys. And so just want to say thank you, CBMA. For those of you unfamiliar with CBMA, I invite you to go over to their website, learn more about the Campaign for Black Male Achievement. You can visit them by going to tbpod.com/Black Male Achievement. So for today, I wanted to do a short episode to really urge you guys to think big, aim high, and act bold. So as I record this, I'm thinking of my daughter who today turns 8 years old. And Layla is largely the main catalyst for me creating this podcast, creating Trailblazers. I wanted her when she was probably 4 or 5. I had this desire to have her see people all around the world that looked like her and sounded like her and who were accomplishing big things. And so I set out to begin a podcast, something I knew pretty much nothing about. And I had no prior established platform for this. I had no tribe. I had no community, no knowledge really of how a podcast would be created. I was very entrepreneurial. I've run and sold businesses in the past, but I didn't know how to capture, edit, and handle audio. To this day, I'd still say that I'm really not strong when it comes to my understanding of audio files and how they're leveled and how they're compressed and, the proper protocol to handle how you capture your interviews in a room. None of that makes sense to me. But here's the thing. I didn't allow the how to paralyze my taking action to realize a dream and accomplish a goal. I also didn't allow my lack to hinder me from taking advantage of thinking big and achieving bigger. I blazed a trail, really, by setting a big goal. And then each day I took one step, right? Not only to making it a reality, but taking a step each day, remaining consistent at it. And by doing that, growing this platform, this podcast, this movement each and every single day until this point, some 2+ years later, to the point where we've now had 100,000 plus, almost 110,000 downloads from 120 guests all around the world. And we're in 110 countries, all these amazing accolades and achievements, right? That have come really just by taking action, thinking big and aiming high and acting bold. This past weekend, Memorial Weekend, I was reading the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. And one of the things in the book I found was, there are some powerful statements that reminded us that big goals can seem unattainable at first, but on a journey to achieving big, you get bigger. As you experience big, you become big. And achievement and abundance show up because they're the natural outcomes of you doing the right things without the limitations being attached, right? So we need to not fear big. We need to fear mediocrity. We need to fear waste. And we need to fear the lack of living to our fullest, right? So Blazer Nation, it's time for us to think big and aim high. And this actually, I'm reminded of a couple weeks back, our guest, Nathan Cook, said that anybody who has had any type of great success in life, they had a goal, right? They knew what they wanted in life. They remained persistent, consistent, and had patience really to make sure that they saw it through. And so what I loved about what Nathan said there is that last part, right? It's so important to think big, and it's important that we aim high, but big thoughts go nowhere without bold action, right? And this is the reason at the end of every episode, I ask our future trailblazer to share one action that we should be taking. I don't want you to just be inspired and motivated to set goals and to think big and to aim high. I want us to blaze trails. I want you today to begin to bring those ideas you have in your mind, to begin to bring them to paper, to begin to execute on them. I keep saying this over and over. I'm going to keep repeating it. Execution over excuses. Execution over excuses. Let's begin right now to take bold action. Yes, it is scary to jump. Yes, it's not what your family or your friends think it's right for you. If that's the case and your friends are telling you a bunch of nonsense, get rid of those friends, right? But if it's your dream, you can't have other people holding you back because it doesn't align with what they want for you, right? Today, my prayer for you is that you take advantage of the opportunity with your name written on it. And notice, when you take action, it will often come with some challenges. It will come with roadblocks and failures at first, right? There's no question about that. That's going to happen. The first time a baby pulls up to stand, 9 out of 9 times they are going to fall before they can take their first step. Expect that before you can take your first step in pursuing a hustle, pursuing a dream, pursuing an idea, something is going to go wrong. But just like the baby didn't give up, neither should you. So never give up on yourself. Keep grinding, keep trying. Do not give up. Blazer Nation, your hard work will pay off. You will rise above and go way beyond. Well, that's it for today. Thanks again for listening to this episode of the Trailblazers podcast. I'll be posting links to all of today's book recommendations and links mentioned on our show notes page at tbpod.com. If today was your first time listening to the Trailblazers podcast, I just want to extend a warm Trailblazers welcome to you. We're so happy to have you here, and we encourage you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button in your favorite podcast app. Go ahead and browse through some of our past episodes to keep the knowledge flowing. If you're a fan of the podcast and today's content, and you're maybe already subscribed to the podcast, please continue to share and invite your friends, your family, your colleagues to listen to an episode that you think might impact them most. We believe that someone listening to these inspiring stories will be moved to make significant changes that will have generational impact for many others, both now and well into the future. Don't miss next week's episode. New episodes are released each and every Monday by about 5 a.m. Eastern. Trailblazers, jump off this podcast today. Go find a way to rise above, go way beyond, and keep blazing your trail. Cheers.